Sober Girls Yoga by the Mindful Life Practice. Hi yogis, and welcome back to our Mindful Let Go, our yin practice that is intuitive. And for today's practice, we will be tuning into tapas, which is the third niyama. This is the niyama about commitment to our practice, commitment to everything that is going to be helpful and healing for us. So we're going to start this practice with Garuda Mudra. And if you want to join me, what you're going to do is place your right hand over top of your left and just bring your thumbs to connect. And then you can lay the palms face up. Maybe you close the eyes. Just take some deep breaths in and out. So tapas is about commitment. Right? Commitment to this, almost like building this inner fire. It's the commitment to keep showing up. Even on the days we don't want to, and especially on the days that we don't want to. So what does practicing and cultivating tapas or commitment mean to you? To remain with our hands in this mudra for one more breath. And then just release the hands to land on the legs. So the breathwork practice that we're going to explore today is called viloma breath. So the goal is to inhale in thirds, breaking up our inhales, and then take one long exhale. So we're going to inhale into the base of the lungs. Pause, inhale into the middle of the ribs. Pause, inhale into the top of the chest. Pause, and then empty everything, let it go. Inhale into the bottom of the belly. Pause, middle of the ribs. Pause, upper heart. Pause, and then exhale, let it go. Let's just do 3 more rounds. And a last one. And just gently bring your eyelids to open if your eyelids are closed. If you're sitting on your cushion, you can just slide your cushion or your bolster to the side. Lift the toes up, and the first pose that we're going to explore is just tucking our toes and sitting our hips back on our heels and stretching through the backs of the feet. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, you could always switch to just be flat or in another seated position, whatever works, knowing that we are going to be here for a few moments. Now let's take our right palm and lift it all the way up, and then just stretch through the side of the neck. So when I was young, I went to summer camp. That's a big tradition in Algonquin Park in Canada, is children going for overnight camp, and they learn lots of different survival skills at summer camp. One of the survival skills that I learned was how to build a fire. You collect all the wood, the tinder, the logs. You learn how to set up and build a little proper pile of wood so that it gets lit properly. And then you learn how to keep the fire alive. Let's lift the head all the way up. And then drop our earlobe down towards our opposite shoulder. You can take the hand up and stretch through the neck on this side. So when I'm teaching about tapas or commitment, I always think about this idea of a campfire. Right? We have to carefully and mindfully build the fire, place the wood on the fire, and tend to the fire. Right? If we don't tend to the fire and care for the fire, then it's going to get put out. Let's come all the way forward onto the hands, release the hands, nice work. Just come into this table and then pedal the feet, release back and forth. Just for 3 and 2 and then 1. Take the hips to sit back on the heels now and just lift the knees up. So this is going to stretch through the fronts of the ankles. Now let's come all the way forward, and we're going to practice some hip opening today. So you're going to leave your left knee where it is, and then I want to invite you to step the right foot all the way forward. And then just lift up and interlace the palms on the thigh. Now you can stay here, or you might take the foot and place it on top of the block, just to deepen your stretch a little bit. See how this feels. So I think all of us have experienced aversion and desire, right? There are things that we avoid doing because we don't like doing them. And then there's things that we do because they bring us pleasure, right? Like eating junk food, watching Netflix. But I think all of us know that when we're putting things in place to feel happy and healthy, we feel so much better, even when we're doing things we don't want to. Like eating vegetables, like getting 8 hours of sleep, doing our yoga practice, right? We don't always want to do these things, but we always feel so much better when we do them. And this is what tapas is all about. It's showing up and it's staying committed to this practice and being here and playing this video and doing your 30 minutes of yoga every single day. Even on the days that you don't want to. And especially on the days that you don't want to. Let's remain there for one more breath. And now I'm going to invite you to just lift all the way up off the right foot. And now the next practice that you're going to do is you're going to take your knee and you're going to come all the way forward. Take your right foot a little bit wide. Turn your right toes to the right. So this is your lizard pose, and you might stay just like this. Or if you want to deepen the experience of the pose a little bit, you might land the block underneath the shin. Just see how that feels. We're not going to be here forever, maybe just a minute more. Maybe if it feels good for you, you might come all the way onto the elbows. Just see how that feels. And then lift all the way up. Come onto the palms. And then we're just going to step the right foot back. Slide the block to the side. And just sit back on the knees for one moment. Rest the palms. Take deep breaths in and out. And we'll move through these two poses on the opposite side. So leave your right knee exactly where it is. Take a big step forward with your left foot. And you might choose to just be right here. Or you might choose to step your left foot up onto the block. And then just see how that feels. I think one of the most common things that I see with yoga teachers is that oftentimes when we become yoga teachers, the first thing that drops is our yoga practice. We stop showing up for yoga every single day. But our personal yoga practice is one of the most important things in the world. Because if we're not staying committed to our well-being, if we're not taking care of ourselves, then how are we going to take care of others? Right? So tapas is about priorities. What is your priority? What is the most important thing? Let's just remain there for about 5 more breaths. And then we'll lift all the way up, off the block, slide the block to one side, turn the toes out, and then maybe you just come straight down onto the elbows. Maybe you use the block underneath the ankle, lifting up, just deepening into this stretch on this side. And know that one side might be completely different. And that is okay. If it's getting uncomfortable, know that the discomfort will pass. You're not going to be in this pose forever. Just take 5 more breaths. And then gently come all the way up. You can release off of the block. Maybe you just sit back on the heels for a moment. Take a breath in child's pose. Let your body come into neutral. Let's just gently roll all the way up to seated. Now we're going to take 2 more hip opening poses. And the first one is a seated wide-legged forward fold. And this is my absolute least favorite pose ever. I'm sitting up on a cushion because that's more comfortable for me. You can also be flat on the earth. I'm going to take a block in front of me. Take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then just start to walk the body all the way forward. You might land the head on the block. So this is my least favorite pose because it's uncomfortable for me. My inner groin is super tight. And if that's your experience too, it's okay. Just be patient to wait for the body to open. It takes time.
But I think it's really, really important that we do the poses that we dislike. Just take 3 more breaths where you are. And then gently roll all the way up.
Vertebrae stacking on vertebrae, bone upon bone, head comes last. So the last pose that we're going to be exploring today is called frog pose. And this is, again, one of my not so favorites. So what you're going to do to come into this shape is come onto the knees. You might have your bolster in front of you. Maybe even I'm going to take a block potentially to prop up my bolster. But basically what I'm going to do is come onto my knees and take my knees wide. But instead of like child's pose where your toes come to touch, you're going to bring your feet out a little bit. And then you're basically just coming to open up through the inner groin and then just lay your heart down. My body's comfortable on a bolster. Might not be comfortable for you. Yep.
From there, yeah.
From here?
Yeah.
Okay. So it might be comfortable the whole setup of the pose?
Yeah, from there.
From here? So it might be comfortable for you to be on a bolster, or maybe you might be all the way down on the earth. Maybe you're propped up. Just bring your body to come comfortable. Just take deep breaths in and out. And so there's 3 characteristics of yin yoga. You want to come to your edge and stay a while. Commit to stillness. We're not going to be in this pose for quite a long time, maybe just another minute or so longer. See if you can commit to stillness. Let's just remain there for a few more breaths. And then you might come all the way up by pressing all the way up off the bolster, just very gently bringing your knees in. Maybe coming to pause and sit back for a moment. Just take that in, feel the after effect of that pose, feel its impact. I want you to finish off in the way we always finish off these classes, which is our very lovely yoga dessert of our legs up the wall, Viparita Karani. Just allow your legs to be extended all the way up. Let your back body be supported. And if you want to stay for your last couple minutes in legs up the wall, feel free. Or you might stretch out to a shavasana. Or you might come all the way up into a seated shape. Just choosing a pose that is going to be your comfortable little container. And I'll bring you back in a moment when the time is up. be free, so free, like a feather blowing through the breeze, like a bird in a tree, like a dolphin in the sea. I wanna fly high, so high, like an eagle in the sky. And when my time has come, I will let it all go with a sigh. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. Just give your body a wake up wiggle. Nice long stretch, fingers all the way through your toes. Curl the knees into the chest, give the body a sweet little hug. And then just make your way all the way up and over, palms at heart center. So we close this practice with an intention. And it is the ancient intention, but the original intention, passed from heart to heart through thousands of years. And it's that our practice remain steady and our efforts remain continuous, and our yoga helps and heals and serves and benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe. May they be happy, healthy, and free. May the thoughts and the actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. And so let's just finish with an Om sound. We're going to inhale, exhale, inhale through to make the Om. So take a big breath in, big breath out, big breath in. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for sharing the space and the practice. The light in me, it's season, it honors the light in you. Thank you, thank you.